Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're going to talk about the newest Ladybug Glow palette, and this is called Galaxia Magica palette. Look at this palette. So pretty. I cannot wait to create looks using this palette. I am going to use majority of Ladybug Glow except the complexion product because they don't have any complexion product, and they actually sent out obviously this was sent in PR to me. I have a few of their highlighters with me. I also have few lipstick and a lip gloss. I cannot wait for you guys to see all of this in action. This is how the lipstick looks. And this one I have in the shade Eden, which is a beautiful nude. So we're gonna try all of this out. Let me give you a quick swatch. How pretty is this? Oh my God. And this also has like a magnetic closure, which I love. And they sent out another lip gloss, which is in the shade Mauve Rose. Yeah, Mauve Rose. You know I love my mauves because I wear it like constantly. I constantly wear like mauvey tones on my eyes. And this is how the packaging looks. The lid of the lip gloss definitely has that soft matte feel. And let me swatch it for you guys. This definitely feels, oh, look at the pigment. It's definitely like a pigmented gloss. It's not like sheer by any means. Look how beautiful that shade is. Yes, I cannot wait to dive into all of these beauty. I'm also using that cream blush, which I feel like a lot of people are big fan of. So I cannot wait for you guys to see everything in action. I'm going to create 3 looks using this palette. So if you're ready, let's begin. Okay, let's begin. I'm so very excited. I only have done my brows. And for the brows, I use my e.l.f. Where is it? Yeah. e.l.f. brow pencil. And this one is in the shade Cool Brown. So that's the only thing that I have on my face right now. Let's move on to the entire makeup. And I'm so excited for the new things from Ladybug Glow that I cannot even say. But let's just color correct a little bit. I'm going to use my Ole Henriksen CC stick. And this one is in the shade Apricot. I pretty much use it like every day, I would say. One, it's Ole Henriksen, so you know that you have like skin loving ingredients. Plus, it's a color correcting stick. So it definitely helps us with the, you know, the discoloration and the dark pigmentation on the face. Basically do it majorly where I have like discoloration going on. So once we have that, I'm just gonna press it on with my fingers. Nothing precisely, just like setting it in place. And they just counteracts with the pigmentation and the dark spots that we have on our face. I mean, a woman of color would definitely, like if you are acne prone especially, because of the melanin in your skin, you would have like those dark spots. And this just helps us to feel put together, very even on the skin tone, and not look like makeup-y. And there's quite a few days where I just wear this like color correcting stick and just walk out the door. So I definitely wanted to mention that too. Like that, see? It's already like all put together. Sorry about the sunspots coming here and there. Okay, let's move on to the primer. I'm going to take this L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. Although we're using like majority of the Ladybug Glow stuff, I do want to complete my face. So they don't have like any base products as yet. So I felt like, let's just do it all together. And this definitely, as the name suggests, it's a Lumi Glotion. So it definitely gives luminosity. Nothing over the top, but yeah, definitely gives a little bit of luminosity all across the face. And this one, did I say the shade? It's in the shade Medium Glow. Now, once we have that primer all settled in, let's move on to the foundation. Now, this is new to me, foundation. I mean, this is not new in the market, but this, I don't think the formula is revised, but the packaging is revised. And this is L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. And I have mine in the shade W6, which is a warm medium. And I am gonna take this all across my face. I don't even remember like how True Match works, and I love L'Oreal foundations. If you know me, you know how much I love my L'Oreal foundations. This should not come as a surprise. I should like it is what I'm feeling. This definitely is new to me, like this formula. But I have high hopes because it's a L'Oreal foundation. Generally, all L'Oreal foundation does work beautifully on my skin tone. I'm going to first take a brush and just pat it all across my face. and then I'll even it out, or if I need more coverage, I'll blend it with a sponge. So the shade range, talking about, I mean, I know that L'Oreal does have a good amount of shade range. W6, which I have right now, it's like 0.5 shade lighter on me is what I would say. But W7, it's definitely deeper on me. I couldn't find a shade like 6.5. That would be like middle point to it. But I can definitely make this W6 work. Even though it's like a 0.5 shade lighter than me, I still, when I like blend it out, it's not gonna feel like, you know, odd on my skin. I think that's all that I need. I'm just gonna bounce it off with the beauty blender, like the Real Technique sponge, just so that if there is any like excess product, it can take it off. Although I just used like a one pump all across my face, that was good enough. Perfect. It's even. I'm not going over the top with anything, so I feel like that's good enough. Now for the concealer, I'm going to take this Maybelline 30R Superstay Active Wear Concealer, and this one, mine is in the shade 30. So let's put that. It's a super liquidy concealer, very yellow toned, I would say. For my medium skin tone, this would still work just because it has like a yellow undertone. So like banana powders and all work on my medium skin tone. So this does help to like brighten up the complexion. And obviously we'll go with like a contour. So that will just give us warmth and color that we're looking for. But again, I'm using a sponge so that there's nothing is like heavy or cakey or anything like that. But also gives like us a good amount of coverage. See? Really good. And super lightweight and like liquidy. Now for the cream contour, I'm going to take this Flower Beauty Liquid Contour Correcting Liquid. This one is in the shade Deep. It's been quite some time that I've not used this, so let's use this again. It's not my favorite formula from Flower Beauty, but since we bought it, we should use it. So we have to act super quick with this contour, just because this dries up super quickly. That's like the flaw about this product, I would say. So I'm super scared whenever I'm applying this, and I do work one side at a time, just so that it's easily blendable. Because if you keep these dots on your face for a long time, it will definitely dry up super quickly. And deep tone really works on me. Like that. And then I'll just take the sponge that I had, just soften the edges, because it does have like that concealer already inside it. Can you hear all like the loud noises that my boys are making? They're all at home. Today is Sunday when I'm recording this. Can you hear that? Where is my shoes? I want to go cycling. Okay. I'm so curious to hear from you guys. Do you guys have kids? They're just opening and closing the door. That's why you hear the music all around. And they're with my husband, so don't worry about that. They're not just like running around the house. And I'm also going to take this on my jaw, just like that, because we definitely do need help there. And then I'm going to take the same brush, and this is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It helps to blend all my cream contours in place very nicely. I love the cut of the brush. So the next product is from Ladybug Glow, and it is their cream blush that looks in the flower shape. And this one is the pink one, number 1. It's definitely on the bulkier side, like to store, but it gives very nice effect on the cheeks. So let me show you. I'm just going to take a very like a loosely packed brush, and this is Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH04. So it's super loosely packed. It doesn't have any like product in it. It's just like stained. So I'm just gonna tap it right on top of the flower, and you can see like the pigment. right there. It's a very like a cool tone baby pink, Barbie pink shade. Definitely going with a heavier hand just because we have not applied our powder. So I do want this product to show through too. And I feel like this, like just by itself and like a deeper lip and like lots of mascara, it looks so very pretty. Okay, now for the powder, I'm taking my L'Oreal Infallible. There's a lot of L'Oreal products in today's video. Definitely was not expecting it. But this one is in the shade Radiant Honey. I'm just taking a big fluffy brush. And this is my Real Techniques brush. And just setting everything in place. And now let's move on to the highlighters. I do have two highlighters from them. These two. I think they're like selling it like free right now just because they had like a packaging mismatch. I have the shade which is Sea Urchin and this is more like a sparkly shade. I feel like this is going to be like a sparkly highlighter. It's like a clear with a ton of like purple, all like colorful sparkles all throughout it. The other one that I have, I feel like that's the one that I'm going to use just because that feels a little bit more natural. And this is called Clear Sparkle. And I feel like I'm going to use this. So let's use this and see how it works. So let's take this. I also see a lot of pink sparkle running throughout it, but let's use it. I'm going to take a tiny little bit. This is also a sparkly highlighter for sure. I can like feel it. And then I'm just gonna place that right. Yeah, it's definitely like a sparkly highlighter. So do keep that in mind. If you do not like sparkle and shine, this won't be for you. But if you do like sparkle and shine, this would be right up your alley. I feel like this as a eyeshadow also would be very pretty. Like nothing on the eyelid, just this and maybe a little bronzer in the crease would be stunning. Okay, so that is how the highlighter is looking so far. Okay, let's move on to the most exciting thing for today, and that is the newest eyeshadow palette, which is Galaxia Magica. This is how the packaging looks. Obviously, this is in Portuguese, and this is in Portuguese just because Amanda told me, Amanda is the owner of Ladybug Glow. She told me that her family is from Portuguese, but in like America, I would say it's like Galaxy Magic. And look at the inside. How beautiful is this color story? Like, look at that. How pretty that is. It's really, really pretty. This shade is so magical. It like looks green in some angles. It looks blue in some angles. It looks purple in some angles. Like, I don't know if you can see that or not. Really, really pretty. I'm going to show you like swatches on the screen how this baby looks because I captured a lot of photos with this. It's so very pretty. I'm also very excited about this shade, which is like matte with sparkles in it. So this palette has, I would say Milky Way is definitely like a multichrome. Blue Eclipse, Stardust is definitely two duochromes. Magical Galaxy and Light Years Away is like those sparkly chrome shimmers, and then there's one matte with sparkle, which is Magic Dust, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mattes in this palette. Beautiful 12-pan eyeshadow palette. I cannot wait. I'm going to start off with this shade, which is Momentum. This one, the peachy shade, because that is like my everyday kind of shade. It's a very light peachy pink shade. I love to wear this by itself, and this can also act like very nicely as a blush too. So I'm just going to place this all across my eyelid. Look how beautiful that shade is. Super airy, super lovely, beautiful. This definitely can act as like a one and done shade for me. I'm also going to take the same shade, just wrapped up on the lower lash line. I can see a little bit of kick up in the pan. Not much, just a little bit. That just tells me that the shades are super blendable. Nothing much, I'll show you. Like, that's me tapping on. That's it. That's how we've built up this shade. I really love that. I really want to apply that as my blush too. Should we do that? I feel like we should do it. I feel like that'll be very pretty. So I'm just going to dip it under that brush. See? Love it. I love that. I'm just going to press it right on top of that cream blush that we had. Okay, now let's move on to this shade. This one. And this is called Universal. It's more of like a taupey gray shade. Obviously, we have two dark mattes in this palette. One is Universal and the other one is this deep navy shade. Obviously, it does have like sparkle in it, but if you like tap off the brush, I feel like it'll act more of like a matte shade. I've taken very little amount just because I don't want to like take over this eye being very deep dark and smoky. Just want a little bit of depth. And I feel like this shade, even along with that purpley shade that is in the palette, it'll be so stunning. Should we use it? I'm so dying. But I feel like as soon as I'll put that purple, it'll turn into like a very deep dramatic look, this one. So I'm debating, should we use it or not? Or should we use it in the next look? Because I want to keep this airy. Just dipping into that pink shade, the Momentum shade that we used first, and just mixing it together. Just like that. And now, just to give it a tiny little bit more dimension, I'm going to take like a fluffy brush with this Magic Dust shade, which is the blue shade, tapping off the excess and placing that right there in the outer corners. Oh, that mixes up with that pink and gray so well. So beautiful. Okay. See, like the way I said, just tap off the excess. It definitely acts like a matte shade. But I'm pretty sure if you like put a glitter glue and then just pack on this shade, you will definitely see that sparkle and shine. Oh, I love it. Love it. I'm going to take the same shade, Magic Dust, on my lower lash line too. Was I saying airy? Is it looking airy now? Okay. So once we have that all like set, I'm going to take like a NYX Glitter Glow, just a tiny little bit, just so that the shimmers like stick onto it. And I don't think I need it, but I mean, there's no harm putting it. And I'm putting like a very tiny little bit. Now, what shimmer are we using? Woohoo! Okay, because it's like light and airy, obviously I'm gonna drift into this, which is Stardust. Yeah, Stardust, which is like a pink to a gold shifting shade. Let's see how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna take this, like it's a flat brush, but fluffy at the same time. So it picked up very nicely on this brush. This is Refer number 28. Oh my. Oh, this is so pretty. Also gonna wrap it around the inner corners. It has a strong shift. I can see pink here and like gold here. Oh, look at that. I totally can see that shift. Okay, I'm just going to take the brush with no additional product and I'm just going to melt it with the matte shade. Just so that it flows easily. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And then we can see if we want to like amp up this look a tiny little bit more or not. Okay, that's my first eye look. I really hope that you can see that shift because in my real life, I definitely can see like a pink to gold. And then with that blue outer corners, it looks really nice and really airy. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's move on to the second eye look. I don't even know what to do. Okay, I want to use the shade Solar. So let's do that. Obviously, this is like a bright sunflower orangey yellow shade. Feels like Singe Beauty brush shade. I feel like it'll pop more on like a white base, especially on my skin tone. We can definitely build it up. And I love that aspect about Ladybug Glow, that these shades are so buildable that you will definitely have no issues like playing with it. See? Oh my god, I love it. And then take this hot pink shade, which is Laser. We use Solar and now we're going to use Laser. It's a very pigmented shade. I'm going to tap off the excess because, okay, we're here. I'm going to melt it with that yellow. That's why I did not change the brush, just so that it mixes very nicely with that orangey yellow shade. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush with that laser shade, the hot pink shade, and just put it right there on the outer corners. Just like that. How beautiful and like sunsetty is the look. Really love that. Okay, I'm going to take my smaller definer brush, just taking off whatever excess we had. And then I'm going to take this laser shade again, mixed with that solar shade, so that orangey pink shade, and placing that on the lower lash line, just like that. I want to deepen out the outer corners a tiny little bit. So I feel like we can definitely use this Universe shade, or we can dip into that purple. Because we've not used that purple, let's do that. I'm going to dip into that Cosmic shade. And let's see if we can do. Okay, that's giving us more of like a lilac shade. How pretty is that? Okay, now for the shimmer. First, let's put the NYX Glitter Glow, because that choice of shimmer would be very difficult here. I'm definitely going to use this later. Maybe we'll do a third look. Stay tuned for that. But today, I feel like we should use this, because I've seen no one use this and this green together. So let's do that. Magical Galaxy is the first one that we are dipping into. I'm just going to spray my brush to see. I don't want any fallout. So I'm just going to spray a little bit, and then I'm going to place that right there. Oh my god, look at this shine. Because this shade is a little more on the darker side, I feel like we definitely need to deepen up the outer corners. And then I'm going to just flip the shade, flip the brush, and I'm going to dip into that green gold shade, which is light years away. This one. This looks a little more on the flakier side in the pan for sure. So I'm thinking that there'll be fallout, so I'm going to spray it. Or you can use your fingers. Because it's the inner corners, I don't know. Look how sparkly that is. Oh my god. This is definitely super sparkly. Like sparklier than any other shade that I applied. Wow, look at the shine. I can go to a disco. I'm gonna put that in the inner corners too. And you can see actually it in the pan too. Like this one is definitely a different formula as compared to the rest of the things. I felt like this and this is going to be similar, like formula wise, but this is sparkly for sure. You saw it on my eyes, but this is something else for sure. Like, oh my god, look at that. Crazy. Okay. I'm actually going to take a tiny little brush with that Universe shade, this one, just to deepen out my outer corners. Just because that shimmer was deep and I do need like a deeper outer corner. This Galaxia Magica palette is already available on their website, their Etsy website, and this retails for $36. You can use my code SMITHYSONY to make it down to like $32, just over $32. And I feel like this is super amazing. I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara for the final thoughts. And that's my second eye look. It's super sexy. It's super like out there. It's super party like. This is like very airy, very fresh looking. My eye shapes look different. Like, do you agree or not? Like my eye shapes look totally different with this being like more open and this being like closed out. I finished off my eyes with the black eyeliner. Just because I felt like because it's so deep and dark, I definitely needed to like close out and like balance it out a tiny little bit. Okay, let's move on to the third eye look. how could I completely forgot to use their lipsticks that they're launching. I mean, they're already up on their website, and this is how it looks. It's magnetic and the packaging is very, very luxe. I really, really like it. And this shade is Eden. So I'm going to apply this. I just have that KKW Beauty lip liner on my lips. The rest, everything came off just because I had my lunch. And this is like such a beautiful everyday nude. It's like a pinky brown. Very comfortable on the lips. I love this shade. Love this shade. This is like right up my alley. I love it. Okay, this is how the packaging looks. Like these flowers all across it. And then this is good for 36 months. It has a net weight of 5 grams. That is it that you need to know. And this is how the bullet looks. Really pretty. I also have their lip gloss, which I will wear it most probably towards the end of the video. So let's move on to the final look. Okay, so we're gonna test out the shades that we did not use. We'll do Moon in the inner corner, this all across the crease. We'll deepen it up with this shade or this shade. And then we'll take this and this all across the eyelid. Okay, I have a plan. Okay, dipping into this Cosmic shade, which is the purple shade of the palette. And then placing it right there, all across the crease. Using the same Refa brush number 16. I just wiped off all the excess product on the Sigma switch so that I don't transfer any pigment onto the other eye. And if you see any patchiness, I feel like it's gonna be because of the wiping off the previous look. But yeah, we keep using this. Obviously, you will know the review of this by in a few weeks when I'll come back to all these palettes that I've been trying and using it for quite a few time so that I can give you like a final look. Obviously, today is the first day that I'm using all the shades of this palette. So do keep that in mind. It's definitely like the first impression, but so far so good. I really like the palette so far. The best part is you can definitely act this like a transition shade. Actually, every shade in this palette, it can act like a transition shade, or you can make it super opaque by building it, because all these shades are super buildable, just like that. Okay, now let's take a smaller brush and I'll take this shade, Magic Dust, on the outer corners. Tapping off the excess just because I don't want any sparkle and shine. And then I'm just gonna place it right there in the outer corners. I love the combo of blue and purple together. Really like it. And as I said, it's like super buildable. So first time when you tap it, you'll feel like the pigment is less. But as soon as you build on top of it, you'll see the color like packing up. Can you see that? Oh, so pretty. I really love that. Okay, I'm gonna take now the flat brush that we were using earlier. I'm gonna take this shade, which is Blue Eclipse. I'm gonna spray a tiny little bit. It's a smoother shade, but it is like a blue purple shade. So I feel like that will complement this eye look really well. But I'm only gonna put it like on a tiny little space because I definitely want the focus of this look to be the Milky Way shade, which is that multichrome. You know, I love my multichromes. Definitely had to play with that. But look at this shade. This is so sparkly. And even though I sprayed because I do want like a smoother application. But if you'll apply it with the fingers, you'll see like such opaqueness. Actually, let's just do that. I'm going to take that with the finger. You can see that. Like, look at that. I'm going to apply that with the finger on this eye. Can you see that? It's more opaque. It'll give the same effect with a brush if you spray it. But if you use it with like a loose packing brush, there is a strong possibility of fallout. Okay, so once we have all that in place, I'm going to now dip into this shade, which I've been waiting to put this all across my eye. And this is the shade Milky Way. I see a lot of green from this angle. And I'm sure you see a lot of like purple, blue. Oh, can you see that green? It's so pretty, so pretty. Okay, I'm not gonna spray this time and see how it rolls. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna place that all across my inner third and melt it with that blue purple shade that we placed earlier. Oh my God, so pretty. On the other eye, I'm gonna spray my brush just to see if there is any difference in the pigmentation or not, and then we can even it out. So here you go. One spritz is more than enough. So I definitely feel that this is more shiny where I sprayed it, but I can see the shifts in this eye too. I feel like once you spray like a sparkly shade, the texture changes to be smoother and opaque. Like this eye, it's definitely a lot like sparkly and piecey, but this eye is like smooth and you can totally see the shift. I'm just gonna build my outer corners a tiny little bit with this shade, Magic Dust. I feel like that's the most pigmented, like fallouty shade in the palette, so do keep that in mind. I'm gonna take the same shade, Magic Dust, on the lower lash line, just to tie everything together, because this is like a smoky eye. I'm gonna take my blending brush with no additional product and just blend out the edges. Now for the inner corner, I'm gonna take this shade Moon, which is like a white shade, and then I'm gonna apply that right there, just for a brighter inner corner, especially with this like smoky eye. And because it's that buildable sheer formula, you won't see like stark white all of a sudden, but you can definitely again build it up. All these shades are like that, just like that. I'm gonna finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. Okay, so that's how the eyes have turned out. I'm gonna finish off with this lip gloss. I definitely wanted to try this. This is number 22 in the shade Mauve Glow, I think. Let me see. Mauve Rose. So I feel like that will definitely complement this eye look. Look how pigmented that is. Very pigmented gloss, I would say. So that is my final eye look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed all the 3 looks that I created for you guys. I officially finished using all the shades in this palette, and I don't think there's any shade that acts like a dud in this palette. Definitely when you're using this shade, use like a packer brush rather than like a fluffy brush, just because this has like the maximum fallout, I would say. But otherwise, rest everything, even this shade, it's super sparkly, so don't take a lot. Obviously, like build it, because this is super sparkly. A little goes a long way. I really would give it a thumbs up from my side, because this performed beautifully, and for $32 I feel like that's a stay. So that's all for today, guys. I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Now let's move on to the outro. I really love this palette. I really love the dimension that it gives, and it's so very pretty. Let's do a live swatch with this palette. I'm just gonna go like row by row and put everything on my fingers so that you can see everything in action, because I feel like these are definitely worth seeing. That's the first shade, which is Magic Dust, and this is the lilac purple shade, which is Cosmic, and then we have this like disco ball olive green shade, so pretty, and this is called Light Years Away. Look at the dimension, so crazy. And the next 3 shades, which is Universal, Momentum, and Moon, all 3 mattes. Universal, Momentum, and Moon. This white shade is definitely more sheer, and I would want that to be sheer just because it's a white shade. I don't want to I want it to be more blendable, but for like showing you the swatches, I'm just gonna build it up and show it to you. So that's the first row. Really pretty. Let's move on to the second row. So we have Blue Eclipse, which is like a blue to a purple shifting shade. We have Magical Galaxy, which is a purple, shimmering purple shade. And then we have Solar, which is like that orangey yellow shade. Really pretty. There you go. Those are the first 3 shades of the second row. Then we have Laser, hot pink shade. Then we have Stardust, which is a pink to a gold shifting shade. And then we have Milky Way, which is definitely a multichrome. I definitely can see gray, blue, green, purple. So let me show you. Laser, Stardust, and Milky Way. So that is the entire palette swatched for you guys. Look at that. Look at that Milky Way shade. Oh my God. That should be my favorite shade in this palette for sure. But I love all the looks that I created. So that's all for today, guys. I really hope that you guys loved the looks that I created using this palette. I really love the formula of Ladybug Glow, and they're quickly climbing up the ladder to be like one of the favorite indie brands that I have in my collection. If you did like it, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.